I know him from a couple years ago, back in New York City, because I went to his gym, and I kind of knew him because he wanted to spar. He was a fan, and we sparred a little bit. When we sparred, he was doing some weird, I don't even know what you call it. And, you know, it was fun, but it was funny. And then when I heard I was fighting him, I was like, what? So it's a little ironic that we're fighting each other. I'm like, hey, man, just find me whatever, you know? I think I got to start getting paid for this because I'm signing guys to the UFC all of a sudden. Whatever. Oh, Natal's a douchebag, you know? I mean, he's an asshole. You know what he did, and he kicked me in the nuts and began to fight to throw off my equilibrium. Must be a Brazilian thing. They like to cheat, but that was his thing. He's an asshole, and I hope I get to punch him in his face next time. I won't be so lightly. But there was a lot of emotions because there was some stuff that he did backstage years ago to a friend of mine that I'm not going to bring up because I don't want it to go too far with this. And it was personal. And in a fight, you can't let those emotions get the best of you because it's rage. And usually when you go in there, rage, you get blindsided. And I'm a technical guy. So me and rage, we're not friends. If I'm rage, I get blinded. And that's what happens. I got blinded. I made a lot of mistakes. But I look at the fight and I'm like, I did enough to win. But these really amazing judges didn't think so. So I just can't leave it to them, that's all. To the fans and critics, yeah. But who gives a shit? They're not doing it. I'm the one that's doing it. So every fight's dangerous, man. It's your life. When you go into the cage lock, it's scary as shit. I mean, every fighter could sit here and be like, I'm all right. It's scary as shit. And for the 2% of them like Ronda who block that stuff out and be like, hey, I'm not afraid to die. That's good. You know, I'm still trying to reach it to that plateau. I'm trying to reach to that level. But it's scary, man. Every fight is dangerous because that's your life. You know? It's not always going to be like that because then when the critics and media is involved, it messes with me because I'm like, why? Why am I going to say yin and yang and you guys are going to turn around and say yin yang? Yo, it's not fair. And then people forget about the fighters and it becomes more of a news and then we start making shit up, forgetting the real aspect. And it pisses me off, it really does. And I usually stray away from interviews. And the UFC knows. They always like, hey man, you can't be a dick, you gotta do the interview. I mean, fuck those guys. But I don't mind speaking the truth and speaking my mind. And that's who I am, you know, I'm from New York, and we don't give a shit. And yeah. Well, you know what, I'm looking for where I'm standing, there's a lot of personalities, you know, you're either a good guy or a bad guy, and then there's just me. Like, what the hell's wrong with this dude? How all his capabilities, his talent, then he's afraid to go in there. I am afraid. I can admit to it. It's like being alcoholic. The first thing you gotta do is admit to it. I am, you know, and it's scary. It's scary because for me, it's never something I see myself doing, you know. Deep down in my core, I'm like, shit, am I a fighter? Because my competitive nature is to compete, but it goes back to society and everybody else is bringing shit up. They're like, why are you doing this? And now I'm questioning myself, like, why am I doing this? Forgetting why I love to do this because of the sport. I love to do it because of the competitive nature of it. So when all these other things come in my head, you know, I get a little confused sometimes. And yeah, it's a head case for me because of how I was brought up. You know, I wouldn't hurt a fly if I had to. It's not me. But put me in the toughest platform on this fucking planet, then you're gonna have people criticize you and be like, dude, this is not for you. So it's the same aspect of living your dream. If you're living your dream and someone's saying you can't do it, maybe eventually it'll start to sink in. But as for me, I'm still fighting it because I got no choice. I ain't gonna let you win. I am working on it. It's an ongoing process. You know, it's kill or be killed. You know, when you go in there, and again, I call it the F it system. You just say F it. And usually in life, when you say F it, you go out there and you just do whatever. And for the few times I've said, you know what, F this. And that's what I did when I wanted to show. I was in a really low point in my life. Man, F this. And I went out there and I just believed it. And you see people who do it like Conor McGregor who believes it. And, you know, it's like if someone keeps telling you every day, I'm going to kick your ass, I'm going to kick your ass, I'm going to kick your ass. Eventually you're going to start saying, you know what, he's going to kick my ass. You know, one of the greatest quotes I read, you know, change your way you think, change your life. And I realize there's a lot of things I'm not doing, for me personally. And I've just decided to make that step. You know, it's different when everybody can see it for you. When everybody's telling you one thing, hey man, you're this, that. It's hard when you don't see it. And it can be in front of you. And when you don't see it, it's a problem. When you finally see it, then it makes sense. But there's a difference from just seeing it and then seeing it, understanding, and applying yourself to it. So I feel like I'm at that point in my life. And again, with having the right support system, the right people in my life, the right coaches, you know, they're not only my coaches, they care about me. I call them my confidants. The people that are there for you, because your constituents are going to be there for you there. Mm-hmm. And then when you make it, and when you don't make it, hey man, too bad you lost. See ya. You got to know those two.